your voice is one of the most classic voices in radio. I just love the way you pronounce, the way you inflect, and it's one of those kind of iconic voices, just like an Art Bell, that we definitely need in this field, that's for sure.
No, I'd rather have the more ballsy voice, but, when one of the big entertainment corporations a couple months ago wanted to bring me on, which I won't go into that. They said, well, you don't have really the deep voice we want, but they said the way I pronounce things, the way I, kind of how I express each word, how it kind of, they say you draw people into it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the thing I have, Michael, and with Tim, I really, ever since you mentioned about the relative, I think on your wife's side, about the great uncle, about the Titanic, and, surviving in the water, getting picked up and put on a boat, people, dying, and all that stuff. It's strange, it seems like people and the family, a lot of the stuff, when you start looking at paranormal experiences, even an implant is a paranormal experience. Strange things in the family have been going on.
Oh, yeah. I'll throw one more by you, Gary. Shortly after I had my surgery, and I was on a show, and a man called me, and he got talking about his experience, and he'd been driving through eastern Colorado, and he knew I was from Colorado, and he was down in southern eastern Colorado, and he's driving, and he was running into this light, and it was coming here, and it was coming there, and he'd get down, and it'd fade away, and he'd get out in the country, and it'd come back. He said, it drove along. He said, nah. I said, what, you think you got a doctor? He said, nah, we had no problem. And then he goes, he said, but I did end up, I was driving in western Kansas, and I don't know how I got there. And so we just let it go at that.
Well, yeah, he went there and he didn't know how he got there. That's, how about the case? I had one guest about 10 months ago. It said that he got in his car to go to work and he ended up 300 miles somewhere place else, and he didn't even realize how he got there.
I've heard that, but I was just, throwing that at you because his guy, you had a light, you don't know, you never know.
Well, do you have pictures of your implant? Did Dr. Leir furnish you, photographic pictures?
Yeah, I got information, and Dr. Leir had an article in me in a UFO magazine way back then. I've only got one of those, but yeah, I got most of the material that I got from Dr. Leir, and I did a couple presentations, and the one group, oh my God, I can't remember, the followers or something, they put them on made me some nice transparencies of the implant, some of the other stuff. Now they didn't have any of the implant. They all had the implant with the membrane. They didn't have it by itself. I'd have to look to see if I still have that, if I got that one or not.
Well, if you do if you can just even email me a couple of the pictures, I would like, if you would be interested, maybe in about a month or so, come back on the show for an hour, and we can touch more on this, because by then I'll have where I can take as it is right now. I can see right now I've had 3 missed phone calls in the last 20 minutes. And I'm lucky. It seems like I can take one call, and that's about it. Thank you, Michael, for you calling at least.
Well, get a hold of Michael. We'll get back on. I talk a little more. I got all kinds. Hell, I'll tell you about a couple of cattle mutilations I know about.
Well, hey, we got about 10 minutes. Can you talk a little bit about one right now?
Oh, well, yeah, I can talk about one right now. Interesting one to show you how things go. This happened in 2013. And it was over in western Nebraska, and people kind of knew that I was a UFO guy, so they were kind of getting a hold of me with the mutilations going on. They'd kind of been a little scarce, and then a lot of the farmers around weren't talking about them because they'd report them and then nothing would get done. But I get contacted by this gal, and this guy has a mutilated cow, and I get over there, but I'm 3 days too late. They didn't get a hold of me quick enough because the animal it was in June and the animal had deteriorated. But the man had this one cow get up to a tank, and it was found by the tank and had been mutilated, and its help had pulled it away, drug it away from the tank so the other cattle would come up to the stock tank and drink. Well, they did that, and then the next morning they come out, and there was another mutilated cow by the one that they drug away. So there was 2 mutilated cows, and that's what I come out there for, but I missed those. And this was in June 24th, it's 2013 to be exact, because a lot of this information is now registered with Earth Files, but I couldn't really do much, and yacked around and got to meet this guy, this Alex, and we yacked and told him kind of what to do, and he got to follow up on it. And that time I went up to Alaska. He's had a daughter up there, and I went up to Alaska for a couple weeks, and we come back. Around the 1st of August, I get another phone call. He's got another cow down, and it's only been down since probably maybe 2 a.m. So it's only been about 6 hours. Well, being a friend of mine, we get over there. This friend, he used to work in magazine business. He had a good camera and stuff. So we get over there, and there's a mutilated cow, and it's laying there on the ground with its legs to the side, but it's got its head stuck in a prairie dog hole, abandoned one. So we look it over and take all and try to get all the information we can, and then we hook to the cow and we pull its head out of the hole. Well, its head just popped out of the hole because it fits so tight. It was almost custom fit. Now its legs are to the side and its head's in a hole. But it didn't fall and have its head go in the hole like some people would think, because the cobweb was still in the bottom of the hole.
Well, how about any, like the tongue or eyes or
the
rectum, anything strange?
They really hadn't done that. They'd removed the anus and the uterus, and they took the tail off of this one. Now, this one was a cousin to the first 2 that they got mutilated. The first 2 were highly registered. They were worth about $5,000 a piece. They got mutilated. Now this one, she's only about $1,500 because she wasn't quite as registered. But anyway, so the head's in the hole, no death drainage, and we popped the head out of the hole, which is not strange. And he said his help lug couldn't find the tail and looked it over. But like I say, how come the head's in the hole? Like the aliens must have a sense of humor. No, we're going to be over there and find this critter. And, it was strange. So anyway, the strange part is we get back. So we go back to the ranch house. And this gentleman has his ranch on Google Earth. And he showed me when I was over there before, how I done it, how I had crops, and, he just showed me. And it's quite interesting because the ranch has quite a bit of story. I could talk about it, but history, but I won't go there. But anyway, so we get back over, and me and him and my friend Matt, we're sitting there talking, and Matt says, well, where were these other cows mutilated at? See, because he wasn't over there. So we Google Earth over there to that spot and look to the Google Earth picture, and you know what's in the picture? Well, them 2 mutilated cows. Google Earth has put a picture of those 2 mutilated cows on Google Earth. Now, the interesting thing is everybody can look at that, but there's only 2 people on the face of the planet right there that could look at that Google Earth picture and know that when those cows have been mutilated, and that was me and the ranch owner.
Oh, wow.
So we look around, why are they there? We find a date on it. June 24th, the day I was over there, this photo was taken. Now, part of the photo was taken from a satellite, and part of the photo was taken from an airplane, because they photoshopped the north and the west areas of the satellite photo with the photo they took from the airplane. Now this is on, Linda Moot and Hal has this on Earth Files as we put it back in and placed it. Now, then the interesting thing with that was, then I go to my senator, who's Corey Gardner, and Alex went to his senator over there in Nebraska. I can't remember that be. And so we made an inquiry as to, can we get the original photograph from Google Earth? He's a ranch owner. Could he have the original photograph? Never got nothing. Never even got a reply. But people looked, and that all showed up that they'd messed with that photo and whatever, and taken it that 24th, and then, like I say, 6 weeks later, another cow gets mutilated approximately 4 miles from that area. Now that it gets mutilated, they stick its head in a hole to mess with us a little bit. Quite an interesting deal. But like I say, the photo, and this is verified, it's on our files, the photo was doctored. So, here we have all kinds of, interesting scenario there, why it's,
well,
and like I say, here.
Tim, what really, and Michael, I don't know if you're still there, but, people, some of these people will say that aliens are friendly and all this stuff. I've talked to Nancy, who runs a UFO reporting center in North Carolina. She swears up and down, there is some species out there that probably are friendly, but then she talks about a species that is basically cannibals. They like eating humans. And I have brought this up before, and I got a lot of flack for saying this. But think about it, right? We go hunting, we go shoot deer, we eat goat, we eat bear, we eat, we go fishing, we eat all fish, we eat anything that's below and dogs and cats, depending on what country you're in. I mean, we eat everything. And in fact, we even eat each other yet, probably in some parts of, the Amazon. But the whole point is, I mean, if you have a species out there, that they might just be looking at us for other reasons than people maybe even think. They think, they're trying to maybe keep us from maybe destroying ourselves. Well, maybe they don't want to see us destroyed, but then you look out, man started, then you look at the Sphinx that is way older than now that they realize it's way older than man, or at least that's what a couple of scientists say. You start wondering, were we brought here for the same reason that a friend of yours might have cattle? I mean, Michael, look at this. The amount of people have vanished in the national forest system is huge. The amount of people, go to work and never show up to work is huge. And the government kind of hushes it up. I mean, there might be a lot of abductions going on that we don't even realize it.
Oh,
I think you're right.
I'm sure there are too.
So I mean, you're lucky. I happen to know a guy. He's long dead now, James Gardner. He was a friend of mine. And I known him ever since he did Rockford Files when I was a kid, and I made a long-distance phone call. My dad almost cut my balls off because he got a huge phone bill. But James Gardner took my phone call, and I was maybe 15 or 16, and we developed a friendship that lasted till he died. I mean, he didn't use a computer, but he would get with a friend once or twice a week and read his emails, and we chatted for years. And he was in that one movie where the abduction,
Fire in the Sky.
Yes, and he actually said that movie made him realize that we're not alone.
That's right.
And I don't think we are. So you're actually lucky that you didn't wake up in a UFO and having these big eyes staring at you, dissecting you on a table.
Well, I've thought of that too.
But I wanted you on the show. Our time is up here because I got another guest here tonight. But what I wanted to have you on the show is I think it's very important for the younger people that are into the UFO, the paranormal, know what happened to you. I mean, and it's important they know what Dr. Leir did. And, it opens up your eyes that there's so much more out there than we can even imagine.
Right.
So anyway, Tim, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show, and